Hey, happy holidays, and thanks for joining us. I think we can all agree it's been a trying year, something that's impacted not only our physical health, but also our mental health. At the same time, I think we've learned resilience and found some new ways to connect.
Now, we want to showcase some of those stories and also offer families the resources they need to find strength through these holidays and into the new year. Welcome to this Healthy Mind Matters special, A Mindful Holiday.
So it seems like the start of the pandemic was a lifetime ago. Since then, Utahns have endured challenge after challenge after challenge with seemingly no end in sight.
Yeah, and our capacity to cope has definitely been depleted, but there are some ways to refill that bucket. Shara Park explains.
If living through a pandemic wasn't enough, go ahead and add protests, an earthquake, dozens of wildfires, and let's not forget, a very heated election year.
It feels like it's just a never-ending roller coaster ride that I would like to get off of sooner than later.
2020, we surrender.
I think a lot of us kind of have our own way of going about things.
Making do, getting by however I could.
If you feel like you've hit a wall or run out of gas lately, it's not your imagination. Doctors say it could be because your personal surge capacity is depleted.
What has been happening to us over the last 9 months is not an acute stressor, not just one stressor that lasts for a moment in time. It's a stressor that's been lasting for months and months and months.
Surge capacity is the mental and physical ability to adapt to intensely stressful situations, like natural disasters or the death of a loved one. Psychiatrists like Dr. Travis Mickelson say our minds are designed to handle these situations, but only for a short period of time.
I think we've all experienced a moment over these last 9 months, maybe many moments, where we just have this feeling like, I just can't take it anymore. I'm just so worn out.
Sound familiar? It sure does to a lot of people, like Matt and Megan Halverson.
On the surface, it looks like it's been great, but there's a lot of stress, and it's built up.
You know, all of the extra stresses that people are dealing with, I feel like all of us are still in survival mode, even if we are totally set well.
Survival mode. That's what it feels like to them, even though everything on the outside seems just fine. They both have jobs, a beautiful home, and their kids are perfectly happy. But after living through a pandemic for the past 8 months, the stress is getting to them.
Irritable, particularly with the kids.
I'm just getting fatigued more easily, and I feel like I'm more in that fight or flight type situation where I can suddenly do a lot, but then I'm completely depleted.
So what are the signs that your surge capacity might feel depleted? Restless sleep patterns, feeling distracted, difficulty concentrating, or being easily irritated. Teens tend to act out more, and some people withdraw altogether. And then there's the other symptoms.
Feeling like we can't relax, can't calm our bodies down. Noticing physical symptoms such as increased heart rate. It's very common for people who are experiencing stress to experience stomach aches, headaches.
If you have any of these symptoms, you're not alone. Dr. Mickelson says once you've hit your surge capacity, it's perfectly normal to feel this way. How you deal with it is up to you.
Eliza, you almost stepped on poop.
The Halversons say exercising has helped. They also dance together, which relieves stress, and they get outside a lot.
There's a lot of evidence that supports that being outdoors, being in nature, doing physically active activities have a direct effect on improving our emotional state.
Other coping strategies? Maintain a routine, stay socially connected, and try helping others.
Being helpful, not only does it make us feel good and give us a sense of meaning, but it distracts us from our own challenges.
On the flip side, doctors say one of the worst things that we can do is to push through when we're not feeling replenished. If we allow stress hormones to continue to surge in our bodies, it puts us at risk for many health problems. They say that makes it harder to recover.
As the days go on, we're continually trying to figure out new things that will work, that will help.
The Halversons are planning a vacation, and Matt says he's going to start seeing a therapist. And one of the most important things you can do?
For every one thing that's not going well in our day, try to identify at least 3 things that are going well.
Focus on things that are going good in your
That's
life.
me and her right there, my heart line, and then my 4 kids.
The Halversons are already trying that, and they say they're crossing their fingers everyone makes it out of this pandemic with their surge capacity intact.
I just hope things will simmer down a little bit for all of us.
Sheriff Park, KSL 5 News.
Sure, thank you. Now, if you try some of these coping strategies and those stress levels just aren't coming down after a few weeks, that might be a sign to reach out to your doctor or therapist for more professional help. Now, if you or someone you know is struggling, reach out to your primary care provider, or you can call this number here, Intermountain Healthcare's Emotional Health Relief Hotline.
Yeah, we know it can be hard dealing with emotions, especially when so much feels beyond our control. But there is a simple and scientifically proven way to process what we're feeling and even improve our mental health. As news specialist Heather Simonson explains, it all starts with picking up a pen.
Being a new mom can be challenging.
Do you want to eat the book instead of reading it?
While Brianna Moffat loves it,
Oh, so much.
raising Harvey during the pandemic is tough.
I had a winter baby, which makes you a little bit shut in for the winter. And then COVID happened, and I just feel like I've been a little bit isolated.
She finds journaling helps.
Just like art, journaling is another way to kind of talk about what you're going through right now.
She makes journals and encourages expressive writing.
Right now we're doing a long stitch journal. It's just you and your journal, and you're able to talk about what you're feeling.
Experts say focusing on emotions or suppressing them can cause high blood pressure and mental health problems. Expressing what we're feeling helps us find balance in a productive way.
It allows you to acknowledge some problems or some feelings that you have, and at the same time not get stuck in them.
Psychologist Brian Bushman recommends starting small. Set aside time to do it each day. Avoid judging yourself harshly, and journal for yourself only. A free flow of ideas and honest feelings.
We're talking about you having a safe space to feel whatever it is you need to feel, to transfer it from here to somewhere else so that you can kind of get some distance from it.
And it doesn't have to be fancy or even written.
You can like record in your cell phone on a memo, but there's no need to do grammar. There's no need because your English teacher is not going to see this.
And sometimes just drawing, putting things in that you find, pressing leaves, anything just kind of helps you have that connection to yourself in your journal. If you were going to write a page of your own novel, what would that first page say?
There are shortcuts to help you get started.
I really love journal prompts because I get writer's block all the time and I don't know what to say. And so I pull one out of a jar and then I'm able to kind of go off of that.
You can keep a second journal for posterity.
I feel like this time is so unique, and especially being a mom now, I want to be able to document what we're going through and be able to share that with Harvey when he's older.
Sharing the joys.
What you doing?
And difficulties.
Is everyone good on your tooth?
Of an unprecedented time. For Healthy Mind Matters, Heather Simonson, KSL 5 News.
Heather, thank you. Now, the pandemic has brought unique challenges for new and expectant mothers. The number of women reporting symptoms of depression at the Uni OB clinic jumped from 53 in October of 2019 to 315 the same month of 2020. Women like Jennifer Mullen. She gave birth to a healthy baby boy last spring, but postpartum depression coincided with, the world shutting down, left her without the usual support of her friends and family.
The illness had convinced me that I was not a good enough mother and that I never would be, and that my family would be better off without me.
I think because of some of the pressures of COVID and concerns that our moms have really expressed about getting sick, they haven't really been reaching out to those supports in the same way.
The clinic offers inpatient and outpatient treatment and has started a free drop-in support group you can join anytime. For Jennifer, those resources made all the difference. So if you or someone you know is struggling, there is help available. Call the Uni Crisis Line at 801-587-3000.
Well, mental health is also a big concern for our senior citizens. Grandfather Mike Packham lives at Summit Vista, a senior living facility. Separated from his family, he's had to get creative to stay in touch. He found the company of his dog, Sam, has also helped keep the loneliness at bay.
He's such a sweetheart. We can't hug and shake hands and be close to people, but I can pet Sam and and we can snuggle up watching TV.
Awesome. So staying connected is vital to mental health. 1 in 4 people 65 and older is experiencing anxiety or depression during this pandemic. Experts at the University of Utah Geriatric Psychiatry Clinic recommend seniors learn technology to stay engaged.
Now, by wearing our masks and social distancing, we may have avoided COVID-19, but chances are we have not been able to avoid or dodge one of the serious side effects, social isolation.
Yeah, no one is immune here, but there are some things you can do about it. So here's photojournalist Peter Rosen.
I can spend a lot of time on my own.
At home, alone. Not the easiest place to spend a pandemic.
I mean,
Not for Jessica Blank.
I like my me time, but this was a little too much me time.
Because of a medical condition, she's staying at home until everyone's vaccinated.
And that could be a long time.
This BYU professor would tell you that isolation itself can be bad for your health.
Increases our risk for heart attack, stroke, type 2 diabetes.
And it's detrimental to your mental health, says Intermountain healthcare psychologist Denise Lash.
Social isolation heightens anxiety and depression.
So Lash prescribes first, admitting isolation is difficult.
Acknowledging that this is really hard.
Then scheduling days with activities that bring joy and meaning.
Shoveling the sidewalk for a neighbor, it could be dropping a plant off on a friend's porch.
Exercise.
The human body is built to move.
And perhaps time to keep a gratitude journal.
Noticing the positive.
Jessica Blank's antidote for isolation.
I joined the Columbia House.
Is that where they just
Good conversation.
Trivia group, virtual game night.
She joins and hosts virtual meetups.
Introverts who aren't total hermits.
Tonight, it's show and tell. With Allison, who's single.
Some days are better than others, I guess.
Matthew, single with roommates.
I just miss the in-person interaction. I miss being able to hug my friends.
And Michael, who has a full house but just enjoys the company.
It's a box
They show
that I got at a thrift store.
a recycled box,
So inside,
60-year-old cologne,
This is a decanter from the 60s?
and a conspiracy theory on vinyl.
It's an Illuminati conspiracy record?
Then the conversation meanders.
Communal type setting.
From 70 sitcoms
We used to watch Love Boat and Happy Days.
to life's milestones.
when I turned 30, it was a huge turning point in my life.
You have to make an effort to reach out.
Yes, you do.
I love it. I feel like Zoom has saved me from really being miserable.
Kind of gives us a sense that we matter to others.
Isolation, for some, Lash says, can lead to serious questions.
Kind of an existential angst, right? Of what, do I matter in the world? Where's my place in the world?
For Jessica Blank
Well, we all survive in the ways that we need to survive.
and her online friends,
Without you guys, I would not be surviving here. This is so great.
there's nothing like a good conversation to make them feel
Take care, all.
See you, Matt.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
a little more connected.
Really, thanks.
All right, see ya.
For Your Life, Your Health, I'm Peter Rosen.
Peter, thank you. Awesome story there. Well, they work and care for their families, but not always for themselves. Still ahead, learn why it's important for men to care for their mental health this season. Plus.
So we talked about some ways COVID-19 has presented many mental and emotional challenges, but it's also created some unique opportunities for people like Rex and Riley Blackburn. So when Rex started working from home last spring, his depression, well, it got worse. That's when he quit his job, packed up his family, and hit the road. They set a goal to run the Mormon Historic Trail, a 1,300-mile stretch the Mormon pioneers crossed in 1847 before they arrived in Salt Lake City. They dedicated their journey to mental health awareness.
The hardest mile is that first mile, like just getting going. So once you admit to yourself, I probably need to address this and seek some help, it does get better.
The Blackburns hope to pioneer the way for others who struggle with mental illness, and they urge them to seek some help through therapy, medication, or maybe just talking to a loved one.
Well, men often work and care for their families, but sometimes don't take care of themselves. For Healthy Mind Matters, news specialist Allie Davis has a story of a Salt Lake professor and musician who's urging other men to care for their mental health.
A composer, a performer, and an educator. Even for someone as talented as Michael Wall, practice never gets old.
I really love practicing. That's what I love about music so much.
He's found the same principle holds true when caring for his mental health.
I grew up in Mississippi in a really, really challenging and somewhat violent household.
The trauma he experienced continued to affect him, especially when he became a father.
And that brought up all this anxiety, and I started having really bad panic attacks. I couldn't get on airplanes.
That's when Wall sought therapy and found help.
I learned all these different types of mental health practices, like meditation and journaling.
He's found it takes discipline.
And that's the thing, is it really is an active practice that still continues.
And balance.
Finding a balance in my relationships, in my friendships, in my career.
Intermountain Healthcare's Dr. Travis Mickelson encourages people to find what works for them.
Best coping strategy is the one that we know works best for us.
He says studies show spending time in nature, practicing mindfulness, and identifying 3 positive things each day are effective.
Helping to manage anxiety, symptoms of anxiety, depression, helping us to remain socially connected.
Wall tries to model these healthy behaviors for his own son.
Oh, that's cool.
Imagine how powerful it is for that boy to see their father take a couple moments and just do, a mindfulness meditation.
And encourages others to start now.
It doesn't need to start when you're struggling.
For Healthy Mind Matters, Allie Davis, KSL 5 News.
All right, thanks, Allie. And coming up, canceling Christmas. Why one family has made that decision to postpone their celebrations. So sometimes it takes a bit of bravery to break with tradition and start something new, even amid a pandemic.
Yes, well, the Freeman family from Lehigh has reinvented their celebrations a few times. It's a pretty bold move. Well, our colleagues at Studio 5 got all the details.
This year we are canceling Christmas, which is actually our 3rd year that we've done this, so nobody panic. My son in medical school has a baby with cystic fibrosis and they are just not allowed to travel, and our other son in the NFL can't come home either. And Christmas without them would not be Christmas. So March, I will decorate the house, I will put up the tree. I have one box that is labeled March Christmas, and that's the box that I pull out. So it's got everything you need to set up for a weekend Christmas. And we do all of our traditions. We'll do our pajama night on that Friday night. We'll do our Christmas breakfast that next morning. They buy presents for each other after in January. The first year we did it, everyone was like, I don't think you can do this. And after it was over, my kids were like, this is the best Christmas we have ever had. We have learned that Christmas for our family is everybody together. That just is Christmas. I just love that permission to say if it's not gonna be what you need it to be, then it's okay to pick the date that is gonna be best for your gathering, whenever that is.
Look at that. They're being creative there. Well, most of us won't be postponing our celebrations, but there are still some really fun ways to connect virtually this year. Studio 5 contributor Brittany Beatty has some fun ideas to spice up your holiday Zoom calls, including a twist on a favorite tradition.
And then have everyone make their own cookies, but don't decorate until you're together. And then what we did this year was we gave a theme. So we had one person choose a shape and another person choose a theme, whether it's trains or Disney. And then you had 5 minutes to decorate a cookie within that.
Love this. I am stealing this idea. Now, she says a baking challenge is a really fun way to mix up a monotonous call and to really involve everyone of all ages. Another fun challenge, take a look at this.
What is this?
Yeah, okay, so you're going to grab a broom or maybe a long pole and hang several candy canes from them.
You can spin.
Spin them all, and then you try to see who can keep those candy canes going the longest before they fall off. So just some ideas there. For more information, more resources, you can visit Brittany's website, familyfeed.com, or you can follow her on Instagram at familyfeed.
Well, many of us are banking on 2021 being a better year. But the reality is, well, we face many months before life may start getting back to normal. So in the Healthy Mind Matters report, Heather Simonson spoke with an expert who explains the dangers of unrealistic expectations.
Sit. Good boy.
In a year of loss,
This is Astro, and this is Oliver.
Jessica Priest gained a COVID puppy. And that's not all. COVID chickens, too.
Rosebud is in charge. And they've just been a delight, and it's been fun to, to have the fresh eggs and to share them with neighbors. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty great consolation prize.
Jessica, a professor in Provo, is keeping expectations low for the new year.
People think that the clock is going to strike at midnight on, December 31st, and it will be 2021, and everything that about 2020 that's been bad will be gone, but that's not how it works.
Dr. Kristen Francis at the Huntsman Mental Health Institute says a realistic approach is wise.
I think if you don't set yourself up to have realistic expectations, you're more likely to be discouraged or fall into despair if things don't work out as you expect or hope.
Expecting too much too fast could be dangerous. Science tells us the risk to mental health may increase after a disaster. The suicide rate in the U.S. was 6.4% higher the year after the 2008 economic crisis, when the adrenaline wore off and exhaustion set in.
When their expectations aren't met, they just feel completely discouraged and ready to throw in the towel.
It's important to note suicides have not risen in Utah during the pandemic, and experts believe with the right resources, people can find help. Finding a balance of hope and skepticism is important.
To be able to enjoy those small changes as they come and see those as triumphs, that will help, I think, lift your spirit.
Oliver, come.
For Jessica, that starts with expressing her feelings.
To go ahead and just feel sad when I'm sad and angry when I'm angry, but then also remember that the absence of some things allows for the presence of other things.
Noting the lessons learned in 2020 and how they'll help us in 2021 is also helpful, experts say, while keeping it real.
I am really not planning on much of anything until summertime. Just better to keep those expectations modest.
Heather Simonson, KSL 5 News.
Thanks, Heather. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. While we've made great strides with the COVID-19 vaccine, it will still be months before most people get vaccinated.
Yeah, this can be a difficult waiting game. Experts encourage people to make a habit of practicing some sort of mindfulness every day. Thanks for joining us for this Healthy Mind Matters special.
Of course, have a safe and happy holiday season.